Sunday night, an instant classic here in the season opener. Lions-Rams Part 2 saw David Montgomery walk things off in overtime as Sunday night's hero in Yao, a game that pretty much had everything.
Including an elite backfield for Detroit, an 8-play, 70-yard drive for the Lions to win the game for them in overtime. And it came off the heels of David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs, two running backs who touched the ball on all but one play in overtime, of course resulting in David Montgomery getting the game-winning score.
And the Lions trailed by 3 with under a minute to go. Rookie Jake Bates had a kick, a clutch field goal with just seconds on the clock to send this one to overtime. But let's take things back to the first half. It was the first half that the Lions really controlled. They took a 10-3 lead into the break. In the third quarter, Jameson Williams' 52-yard score gave the Lions a 17-3 lead. But then things really flipped into LA's favor.
Credit to Sean McVay and his offense. Wide receiver Puka Nacua going down. He was ruled out at the beginning of the third quarter. That left the Rams with a wide receiver room that only tallied 862 yards combined a season ago. Puka Nacua had nearly 1,500 yards on his own last season. So the fact that Matthew Stafford was able to rely on Cooper Kupp, of course that 162-yard total came from everybody outside of Cooper Kupp, but still relying on Cooper Kupp, over 10 receptions, over 100 yards, and a touchdown. You can see why Sean McVay's offense was so lethal, especially in that second half.
And we saw the Matthew Stafford that Lions fans had become so accustomed to seeing, especially in those clutch fourth quarter drives. He got the job done, but so did the Lions, sending this one to overtime, really in thanks to the offense. You talked about the run game, but Jameson Williams, Amon-Ra St. Brown, they definitely made their presence known here on Sunday night.
Especially Jameson Williams. Remember, although it's Jameson Williams' third year in the NFL, it is his first season opener. Year 1, coming back from that ACL tear. Year 2, he was suspended for the first few games of the season. So Jameson Williams, especially on that long touchdown, he reintroduced himself to us. And look, he had 18 touchdowns in college, an average of which went for 48 yards a score. So Jameson Williams, he was exactly what the Lions needed tonight, and he was exactly what the Lions showed, what the Lions wanted back in the NFL draft when they drafted him all those years ago.
And we saw him breaking ankles on that 52-yard score.
That was dirty. That was a little stutter step, and then the go route, absolutely amazing. He had the defender lost.
He absolutely beautiful. But I think the biggest takeaway from last night is probably that the Lions really put their money where their mouth is. You saw all during training camp, this team was confident. They used the word Super Bowl quite a bit. But once you get on the field, you have to show that all that talk is for real, and they backed that up last night.
Yeah, the hype was real for the Lions coming into this season, not only for the players but the fans. You talked about Jameson Williams. Head coach Dan Campbell said during OTAs that Jameson Williams was the most improved player, and then you saw Jahmyr Gibbs with those hamstring injuries earlier in training camp. It didn't look like an issue today. Although we only saw him in that third drive, we didn't see him in the first or second drive for the Lions. He still ended up coming big in third and short situations. And then David Montgomery, he was the running back that Detroit preferred in those first and long situations, and of course coming up big in that overtime score.
A huge win for the Lions here on Sunday night as this team takes a ton of momentum now into week 2. They'll be right back here at Ford Field to host the Bucs next Sunday, 1 p.m. kickoff. But for now at Ford Field, he's Yao Bansu. I'm Jacob Seuss, 13 on your side sports.